Yoel Romero is calling out Anderson Silva, but he's calling him out hard and he's calling him out of nowhere. I don't think there was any reason behind this. Like, I don't think there's a hidden, hey, did something happen here? I think it's just Anderson Silva, and I think it just makes sense, right? If you can get on the docket with Anderson, then good for you, and Yoel's a title contender, and I'm into the whole thing. I will tell you this. When you look at that fight at first glance, you will see a striker in Anderson, and you'll see this master grappler in Yoel Romero, and okay, great. Good for you for seeing that. I will just share this with you. I have been in there with Anderson. I have been in there with John Jones. I've been in there with Fedor Emelianenko. And those guys are held in such high regard in the sport because they've had such great careers that I get asked this question a lot. But hey, who was the best of those three? Who was the best? And when I first got asked that question, it was a little bit hard for me to answer. And I still don't have the answer, but I'll share this for you, okay? Fedor was the strongest of them. He was the most powerful. He was the biggest, so that probably doesn't surprise you. But he had a real explosion as far as an athlete goes. He was a very good athlete. You could feel the speed combined with the explosiveness to equal power. You could really feel that. John Jones was the most dynamic. He was the guy that was going to kick you in the leg, punch you in the mouth, and try to take you down in the process. But Anderson Silva, without question, not even a moment of question do I need, is the smartest fighter that I've ever been in there with. Even when you break it down to those three guys, and that seems to how I formed the question, so I'm a little late on this, but I'm trying to answer it for you guys. Anderson Silva's the smartest fighter I've ever been in there with. And when you take that into perspective, this whole Yoel being a great grappler business, I'm telling you now, however that fight would go, and I could see where Yoel could get to some positions and have great moments, could see where Anderson could have his positions and have great moments. I will just share this with you, in my opinion, as a fellow wrestler. So I've never gone against Yoel, but I am a fellow wrestler. I will just tell you this, that fight will not go how you think that fight would go. If you think Yoel is going to come out there and tackle him and hold him there, that just isn't going to happen. I wasn't able to do that to him. Daniel Cormier wasn't able to do that to him. And you may go back and look at that fight and go, well, yeah, sure he did. Well, no, he wasn't. Daniel did not just come out there and tackle Anderson Silva. That is not the way that worked. He had to get inside. He had to be very smart. He had to absorb some shots at some times, and then he could drag him down. And when he got in there, it was hard to deal with. Well, Daniel had great moments in keeping him there. He will tell you, Anderson's just a smart fighter. He's a smart fighter at keeping you at bay. He's a smart fighter at getting you to use your energy. He's a smart fighter at making you work really hard for your positions. Point I'm trying to make, and I'm only trying to make one, which is just something, I would like to see that fight. And I don't think any part of that is just a wrestler versus a grappler as much as it would appear. And Yoel Romero, not for nothing, but he doesn't go out there and just wrestle like an Olympic wrestler would. Right? He goes out there and he buys some time. And I just think if he stood in front of Anderson, and he will stand in front of him, he stands in front of everybody. Yoel Romero feels everybody out. He lets everybody use a little bit of energy before he explodes. I think if he went out there with Anderson, I just think you've got a really fun and dynamic fight. I think when you look at what they both accomplished in this sport, while Anderson's career has been 3 times longer, Yoel has accomplished a lot in a short period. And I think if you look there at both of their ages, I think if you look at both of these guys and you're seeing a 4 in front of, 4+ for both of them, I think that the fight makes a level of sense. Where I would push back is Yoel being a middleweight. That part of it has been a little bit confusing for me. I thought that he had officially moved up to 205 pounds. I thought that because he had alluded to it. I thought that because he missed weight. I thought that because he missed weight again. And then I thought that because at one point he was scheduled to go up and take on Alexander Gustafsson at 205 pounds. So the first thing that I would encourage, yes, I like the fight. But Yoel Romero, not for nothing, must choose a weight class. And whatever that class is, he's got to make the agreed upon limit.